Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. And as usual, my friends, drink it if you got it. I've been waiting for this first sip. Want to savor it. I love it. I love it. How y'all doing today? Good. See, people are coming in. And we'll fade out the music, and here we go. Here we go. Wednesday morning. Hump day. Good to see everybody. I watched a little bit of Kilts this morning. I saw most of the crowd was there. He went over about 15 minutes. I know the feeling. And it's an interesting guest that he had. Some of these athletically focused guests, unfortunately, don't apply to my current situation now as far as running and sprinting and all that other stuff, but they're valuable nonetheless. Well, let me get rid of that annoying ticker at the bottom. And hey, good news this morning. Good news, YouTube did not do away with yesterday's last night's chat. How about that? Oh, wow, Terry's starting off to look at this. Terry bought me a coffee, said, thanks, Mitch. Oh, thank you so much, Terry. I appreciate that. I didn't even have to ask. But seeing as you brought it up, let me paste the link. Let me paste the link in the chat somewhere. Here we go. And thank you again. Very nice of you. Very nice of you. And I'll put it up the top there, because you never know when this spirit might move you to feed me some coffee. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Put QQQ in the chat if you want to ask me a question. I have some show notes here today. Let's see if I can find them. Yes. Thank you. I want to thank everybody profusely for the really nice comments on my video yesterday when I went out to lunch with my son. A lot of comments. 99.9% of which were, well, maybe 0.7% of which were from wonderful people. And there were one or two comments from morons, miserable people. Why they watch these things, I'll never know. Why they feel the need. But They didn't aggravate me at all. I just said, well, okay, goodbye, and gone. The one of them that I wanted to repeat to you basically said, you are a danger. You should not be driving in your impaired state. I gave that some deep consideration. I thought about all the teenage girls out there driving and texting, all the inebriated DUI drivers, all the people on my little drive yesterday that I had to get out of their way, weave and dodge because they were all over the road because they were distracted. But I, unfortunately, should have stayed home because everybody who has a stroke, you should know, is immediately impaired and can't think straight, has no reflexes. Anyway, I don't know where some of these people come from, but they just keep coming. And it's more interesting than aggravating. Because you say, what makes these people feel the need, especially after that video yesterday, which was a nothing but a feel-good father and son, stroke recovery, all the good stuff. And there was another one too. I forget what it was because that's how important it was to me. But another stupid moron comment. So I've come to the conclusion that we're a small group of intelligent and kind and decent people swimming in a sea of humanity that are primarily evil and morons. Now, that's a sad thing, but that's the idea you get. And it's not just me. It's just something that all YouTubers get these things. We just have to put up with it. It's a shame that so many really good YouTubers have been driven out of YouTube by these people. Almost drove me out on a couple occasions a year or two ago. You just don't need that. You don't need, but you learn to ignore it and talk about it from a this is interesting standpoint instead of being mad. But I'm in a good mood this morning. It's a beautiful morning. Beautiful morning here. Anything else I want to say? Yes, I want to tell you, I just show you. I brought it in with me because since I'm not drinking coffee from the minute I wake up, which is a habit that I've gotten into after years of it, I now hydrate myself in the morning with my electrolytes from this. I'll lean back, it's so big. From this thermos things on my Amazon links. It's about $20. I forget the name of it, but it's really nice. It's 40 ounces, and I put one dose of my electrolyte in this, and you can hardly taste it because it dilutes it so much. And this becomes pretty much my way of knowing if I've taken all my electrolytes, if I drink it all, and I've got enough water, enough hydration. There are some people that say, this is all you need, and this is all I drink. I drink my coffee, I drink this, and occasionally if I get thirsty, and that's the clue, if I get thirsty, I'll have a glass of water, but that's all I drink. And this thing is so handy because this pops up. Did you see that? Goes up and down, and it's a drinking straw. So you just take this, it sounds as good as it is, and then you just close it again, and when you close it, you can turn it upside down, you can shake it, you can do all kinds of things with it. I generally keep this on the coffee table next to the chair where I sit in the house, and by the end of the day, usually I kind of space it out. At the very end of the day, I have finished this entire bottle. I've got my electrolytes. Or don't get the leg cramps. If I do without this for 2 or 3 days, the leg cramps come back. That's how I know. That's how I know that I'm getting enough salt, sodium, magnesium, and potassium. It's a great little thing. Costs 20-something bucks. It's got this. It's got a carrying strap for over your neck. It's got this cloth case on it. It's made out of stainless steel. It's all metal. There's no plastic really, except for the drinking straw that goes down from the top. It's very easy to take care of. I've had it for a year and a half or 2 years now, so it's become a part of my daily life. I think that's all I want to. Oh, I just want to say, I was watching YouTube this morning, and up in my feed comes a thumbnail with a picture of me with no shirt on. I said, wow. It was almost 2-year-old video from when I first started my little YouTube adventure on Carnivore. And it was what to do, how to start Carnivore was what it said. And I just out of curiosity, I clicked on it. It's a 20-something minute video, and I watched it. And there I am, almost 2 years ago. I suppose I looked a little younger. That certainly was pre-stroke. I don't think I had gotten down to the weight at that time that I finally settled at. So my face was a little fuller. And I watched it, and it was cool. And I don't think many of you have seen that video, because most of you weren't around back then, or weren't following me yet. I had very few real Carnivore subscribers at that point. So I decided to do a remake of that video, kind of like Ken Berry does. He'll put up the remake of something he did 4 years ago and put 2025 in the title. Well, I'm going to make a new video, but I'm going to use the actual classroom type footage that I shot going over how to start Carnivore. And the one thing that stood out to me more than anything else is that everything, virtually everything I said almost 2 years ago, I'm still saying now. So if you want to watch it, I'm gonna release it. I may get to it for today. If not today, tomorrow. I think it's worth watching. I think it's I cover all the points, all the potential pitfalls. And when the video ended and I was watching it, I said, well done, Mitch. Well done. I don't normally do that. I don't normally recycle anything, but this, I think, is a good reference. And because it's so old, people don't find it. It does not show up in search rankings very much, and I don't understand, other than the fact that since I always watch my live streams and always watch all my videos on the YouTube channel that isn't Old Guy, it's my default channel, it thinks that I'm Old Guy Carnivore's biggest fan, evidently. And keeps recommending these old videos to me. But it was nice. It was a lot of fun. Let's see what we got here today. We started out last night, Gary. 7:39. That's when I posted this. Here's the comments. Gary, you're number one. That's where the comments are. He says, or am I first? Again, there he said hi last night. Smoothie said hi last night. And Mandy Beto said hi last night. At about 9 something last night, Wayne Herman chimed in from Lake Gaston, North Carolina. And Sandy Blythe, Lady June Peter said good morning. Peter at 3:57 a.m. here on the East Coast. One of the insomniacs. Wow. First up this morning, Graceful Lily. Good morning from southwestern Ontario. Almost 4 a.m. Got to go to bed, not sleep in. Yeah, I don't blame you. As usual, Lily. I woke up again right at 3 o'clock. I always wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why. It's just something I do. Talked about that yesterday. Went right back to sleep. Finally woke up at 5 minutes to 6. I had a great night's sleep. I feel good today. It's amazing how much energy I have in the morning and how fast it gets depleted as nighttime approaches. It's so noticeable. I'm beginning to really blame the stroke recovery for that, and not try to blame diet, lack of supplements, or something else that I'm doing. I'm pretty well after all that carb cycling thought. So far, all I've really done is give up the caffeine. I think I'm over the worst of it. Had a good day yesterday. Most of the day I was pretty chipper. Day before I went to lunch with my son. That was a lot of physical activity that I wasn't used to. So far as it stands right now, I'm going to hold off for another week or so. Let the caffeine thing settle in, and kind of reconcile myself to the fact that I don't care what I eat, what I do, this recovery from this stroke is going to sap my energy. The consensus from more than 100 stroke victims that I've gotten in comments, emails, some of them have written me letters. I have not heard one of them, not one of them say, recovering from this stroke did not affect my energy. I've heard from people who said they had a stroke 10 years ago and they've never recovered full energy. So I'm pretty sure that may be the way it is. I hope that I'll come out of the end of this on the better results side. I'm resigning myself to the fact that I will never probably be 100% like I was before this, but that's life. Life throws these things at us. Same thing when I had that brain operation. I got back about 98%, 99%, but there was a little something that got destroyed in that, and I think that's where the stroke happened. So we'll see, but I'm doing great. I'm happy. I keep thinking, got to factor old age into it too. I'm not a spring chicken. And I think even with the stroke, with the brain surgery, all that crap, this carnivore diet is keeping me feeling young, and I still feel young. And as far as me being impaired in any mental way, I will match the speed of my brain and reflexes with anybody out there. I don't care who they are. So don't tell me I shouldn't be driving. Incredible. Oh, here we have John Beatty. It's a Melbourne Meetup on July 2nd or August 2nd. It is July the 2nd. It is July the 2nd on Wednesday. Jesus, that's coming up in a couple of weeks. That's 2 weeks from today. Yes, it is. 2 weeks from today. Isn't it? Today is the 18th? Yes, 2 weeks from today. Wow. The Brazilian Steakhouse at the Melbourne Square Mall. If you're anywhere near Melbourne, RSVP. Dr. Nelson's going to be there. Dr. Kiltz is going to try to be there. I will absolutely be there. Peter will be there. I have not gotten many RSVPs yet. Doesn't matter. Mike Seeley and Junior and Senior will be there. If that's all that are there, we'll still have a great time. But you're missing out if you don't make an effort to get down here. At least. I know it's a Wednesday. Some people work. But if you live within an hour or two up here driving, it's worth coming to. It's worth coming to. And I want to meet you. Mike Seeley Sr., how you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome. Welcome. Always welcome. And Rick, with his own personal sound effects. Good morning from Miami. Mike Seeley Jr., greetings from Tampa Bay. Richard Williams is here. Patty's Garden is here. Good morning to you. Jerry Bell says hello, meat people. Terry Sue, good morning. How you doing? Bacon Baby's here. Terry Sue fell asleep at Kilts. May do the same here. Don't you dare. How can you fall asleep when this is so exciting? Suspense by the minute. You never know what's going to happen. Baby and Terry Sue are having quite a conversation here this morning. Smoothie's back in here. How you doing, Smoothie? Good to see you. And Lizzie says good morning. And Meetitudes says good morning. We're at 8:17. Terry Sue says to me, morning, Mitch. The fit of you and your son was good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was certainly, for me, a feel-good movie. And I don't know how many of you realize, considering I'm so impaired, what I had to go through to actually film that thing and chronicle that. It's like a Keystone Cops movie. You can't imagine. I'll give you an example. Basically, before the little scene of me walking, the scene opened up with a shot in my carport, looking by my car, and I come down the front steps, walk to the car, and open the door. Well, how do you think that happened? Just how do you think that happened? Well, first I had to take the camera on a tripod and set it up out there past the car a little bit so it could film me walking to the car. Okay? Then I turned that camera on. I walked back up the stairs into the house, shut the door, open the door, walk out of the house, walk down beside the car, open the side door, get in, and close the door. Okay, well, here I am. What about the camera that's still sitting outside? Okay, open the door, get out of the car. Get the camera, bring it back to the car. Get back in the car, close the door, unscrew the camera from the tripod, screw it to the suction cup mount on my windshield, start the camera. Now, I want to transition from me getting into the car from the outside to me getting into the car from the inside. So, I open the door, I get out of the car again. I turn around, I get in the car, grab the cane, put the cane in front of me over on the seat next to me. Okay. And away we go. And then shut the door, back out, and go to the restaurant. All that turned out to be 5 seconds of video. And if you watch it again, you'll see where You see me getting into the car from outside. And you see my arm reach out of the car from outside, grab the cane, and as soon as I get it up in the air, I cut to the video that's shot in the car that shows me sitting in the car seat, grabbing the cane across me and pulling it into the car and putting it on the seat next to me. All of that just for about 10 seconds of opening. So it was much more physical activity than it ever appeared on that video for me to film it. I don't have a cameraman. And all the cool stuff is done with those kind of tricks. I just thought you'd be interested in that. Most people don't realize what it takes. You know, people make a YouTube video, and you see them in their car coming from down the road and then driving past. We don't realize you got to drive up there first, set up the camera, turn around, go back, shoot the shot, go past the camera, turn around, come back, get the camera, and keep going. These things don't happen magically. They don't happen magically. All right, little side something that maybe some of you will find interesting. I'm going down the road here. Terry Sue, Claudia Burkett, good morning. Claudia, how are you? And Tanya's here, Kitchen Witch, good morning to the man and all his Mitch fits. I'll drink to that. I'll drink too much of anything. All righty. Aaron is here. Good morning, Aaron. How are you? And we're coming up on 8:30, but not quite. Not quite. 8:27. 8:28. Terry Sue, I'm in bed with earbuds. I can't close my phone till it's... Oh, I'll put you right to sleep, Terry Sue. Don't do that. Don't do that. And we're sneaking up on it here. Let's see. Rick at 8:28. Oh, it's so exciting. Stay awake, folks. It'll be over soon. 8:29. Rick says quack, quack. 8:29. Tanya hit it. Terry Sue hit it. Rick hit it again. Lizzie hit it. Rick hit it again. And wouldn't you know it? My goodness. Yes. Once again, Gary, congratulations. You have won. Ryan Dish chimed in at 8:30. Marla, Kelly, Lady June, Bacon Baby, Smoothie, Rick again. Rick's really hammering that enter button. Patty Molden, Rick again. 8:30. Wow. Claudia Burkick, 8:30. Michael Pregler got here, 8:30. How you doing, Michael? And Bacon Baby, still 8:30. Max D, good morning. Everybody. Everyone. I should actually read these things. From Canada, from Cambridge. Good to see you. And Tanya, 8:30. Wow. Look at all the people we're trying to be first. Blue Water Baboon. Wow. That's a new one. Interesting name. Good morning to you too. Welcome. Good to see you. And Sandy Blythe is here. Yes, it's Coffee with Mitch and Friends, and I'm still at 8:30. Lizzie was here at 8:30. Where's the 8:30 was? Holy cow. Brian Dish. Blue Water Baboon again. And 8:31, finally, Lindsay's here. Hi, Lindsay. He says, hi, friends. Good to see you. And Peter, Papa Carnivore is here. Well, now I have 3 times. Never mind. I can't resist, Peter. Can't resist it. It's going to get busy. The volume of the chat has at least doubled because everybody's going to say hi to you. Who have I missed? Tuka's here. Hi, Tuka. How you doing? Good to see you this morning, my friend. Good to see you. And now the hellos start. Everybody starts saying hello to everybody else. Lizzie says hi to Papa. Papa starts talking. He's out walking. And a question. How are you, boss from Tuga? I am great this morning. I'm doing great. Doing fine. I'm going to start saying if I was any better, it'd be illegal. That's my default answer to that. But believe it or not, I'm kind of happy with life right now. I don't have pressures on me. Nobody's chasing me anymore. I keep myself occupied all day. I'm plenty busy. I never get bored. I'm eating very well. I'm starting to stretch out my mobility. And compared to most of my compatriots that are my age, I'm living the highlight. I'm living the life. Get my house painted. No, I have no complaints. No complaints. I better find some. How will I rant if I have no complaints? I'll find some minor things. And when I rant, just keep in mind, I'm not raising my blood pressure. It's kind of my shtick, if you know what I mean. And you know what shtick means. My act. People like it, and once I get going on one of these things, I make some pretty good points usually. But I almost, it's not that I'm not indignant about some of it or unhappy that it is the way it is, but I've stopped internalizing it so much. So every time I do one of those things, people say, "Careful, Mitch, you have a stroke." No, that's not the kind of stroke I had. My blood pressure was actually low, but that didn't stop them from prescribing blood pressure meds for me. It doesn't matter, or statins for that matter, because that's the cure for everything. Everything. Cut your finger, take a statin. Got a wart on your nose? That'll fix that right away, said the doctor. Said the doctor. Yep. I love that. I love that. Bet you never thought of that, Rick. A use for that sound effect. An alternate meaning. Who is this? Cheryl Huskins. Good morning, Cheryl. How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome. And who's new? Rick Peter Tuca. Tammy's here. Good morning, Tammy. Good morning, Mitch and y'all Mitchfits. That's what we are, y'all Mitchfits. Us quacks are everywhere. They're everywhere. Tracy, I thought it was good timing to buy coffee first thing. Thank you so much, Terry. I really appreciate that. I wonder if anybody's followed your lead. Let's see. I did want to thank, yes, here's another one. Barb Rieger bought me a coffee. Thank you, Barb. Says, always uplifting and motivating. I try to be uplifting and motivating. Thank you so much, Barb. I appreciate that. And I want to thank Dan Thompson. Now, he might be watching or not. Last night, I got, my phone went ding and somebody bought me 10 coffees. That's $50. Right before bed for me. I said, whoa, where'd this come from? And Dan said, lunch is on me next time. Evidently, he had watched my video. And that really really kind of wowed me. I said, whoa. And I immediately typed him a reply and thanked him so much. But want to acknowledge that. It's very generous. Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much. Gracias. Well, we got 100 people. Kilts, I was watching this morning. I don't know if that viewer count includes all the people that are watching him on all these other outlets. He has Facebook, Instagram, whatever. But he got up to 168 viewers, and I was so happy to see that. I've always thought, with the amount of work and time and energy and travel and everything that he puts into this, promoting this carnivore lifestyle, that he should be getting 10 times the viewers that he has. And I'm glad to see that most of the people in my community are also followers of his, and he deserves it. There are people that deserve it. He should, even at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I was happy to see that. Let's see if there's any questions here. The chat has started. Most of you are leaving me out of it. So I have to scroll down here and look for the cues. I'm up to 8:37, so I'm way behind as usual. But I like to talk and comment on things. Tanya says, I eat Wednesdays. Told them I will be there after. Okay, you guys are obviously talking about something that I don't know about. Well, my phone went ding again. Louise Florette is here. Hi, Louise. How are you doing? Good to see you again. I recognize your name. And a lot of quacking going on in the comments. A lot of quacking. Who's number one? No Slow is number one today. Sandy Blythe is number two. Says Kilts is on several platforms. Yeah. Well, he's got help. He's got people. I don't have people. That was the first kind of joke that he and I shared. When I first met him in person, he had one guy working with him, helping him out. And I said to him, Kelsey, I said, I see you got people. I said, I don't have people. I envy you. And then he got rid of that guy left him, and for a while he had no people that I knew of. And he called me one day and he says, well, Mitch, I don't have people anymore. And it was at a point when he was not having guests on, and it was just him talking every morning at 5:30. And then all of a sudden, along comes Alia, and she obviously is pretty tech savvy, and she's the one who finds all these guests, and she works her little butt off. She's a great gal. I enjoyed meeting her down there in Tampa in February. She lives in Colombia, but the internet is the internet. As long as they got an internet, she can do it. And she's the one that's basically doing the producer's job, pushing the buttons, deciding what window goes where, and she's running the live streams from Colombia. What a world. Then Nelson comes along. I met Nelson a year and a half ago, or a year ago in Orlando, when he and I and Kilts did that impromptu live stream, and it was a ball. But Nelson was not affiliated with Kelsey yet, and Nelson is his first name. He calls himself Dr. Nelson. It would be like me calling myself Dr. Mitch, but I've kind of settled on Professor Mitch. But Nelson's last name is Vasquez. Okay, so we all became somewhat friendly. We became kind of close. Did a few more live streams together. So Kilts and Nelson would come to the meetups we had here in Melbourne. So that was great. Then he invited me to be a speaker at the Healing Humanity meetup they had in February, which is a month before I had my stroke, or a few weeks before. And I have a video not too long ago, maybe 50 videos ago on my channel, of me standing up there, because all of a sudden when I got there, I thought I was just going to be a guest. Well, I ended up being on the panel, and I ended up with myself up in front of the whole room full of people, and there were a lot of people there giving a speech. And it was kind of a last minute thing. And somebody in the audience had their iPhone out and sent me the video of that. And I put it on the channel. I'm very proud of myself. And I've watched that since I had my stroke. And I said, oh, that's how I looked before the stroke. And that's how I talked before the stroke. And I'm doing the best I can. The best I can not to sound like I just had a stroke. When I'm not tired, it's easy. When I get tired, it takes a little more conscious effort to enunciate clearly. There's so many muscles involved in speech that usually is something that's dramatically affected by strokes. I guess in that respect, I was lucky. Not too much damage to that area of my brain. Some damage because it's affected a little bit. Eating, I can't gulp stuff down like gag on it, but it is getting better. I couldn't close my left eye without closing my right eye too. Subtle little things makes you realize just how complex and complicated we are, and how much our brain has to do to actually keep track of all of it and make it all work in concert. Really something. Really something. But at any rate, Nelson went to work for Kilts. They started doing just expanding the tribe and everything else, and he deserves for all that work to have a lot more fame than he has. He's been around on YouTube for years. I still get older videos of his pop up from 4 or 5 years ago when he first started talking about carnivore on YouTube. I value their friendships, both Nelson and Kelsey, right up there with some of the best friends I've ever had in my life, who are all now sadly deceased. Here's to you, Kelsey, if you're watching or listening. And didn't know this was going to turn into a tribute to Kilts. Wow. I must be boring the hell out of people. My viewership is falling off 87 people. Here I am congratulating Kilts on all the viewers he's got, and my viewers are getting tired of me. Okay, I'll get back to it. I'm looking for questions. I'll be happy to talk about carnivore. Here you go. From Peter. Oh, Peter, come on. Give me a question that means something. Louise, Louise Florette. How's the stroke going? It's going well. The recovery is going very, very well. Thank you very much. As much faster than I ever thought it would. Not fast enough, but it never is. Never is. Mama Bear's here. How you doing, Mama Bear? Good to see you. Mike Taylor, good morning. Don't forget your grounding. I try to get out there every once in a while and walk around barefoot. It's a little tougher to do that these days. Wang Ling question, morning, Mitch. I find it odd that people are able to override their natural ability to choose the right foods. No other animal purposely eats harmful food, do they? So why do we humans? Because we have food companies It's all because the availability of those foods are known to us and not the animals. Your dog would eat all the junk food you want to give them. So would your cat. In the wild, they don't have it. If you don't have it, you don't eat it. If we were living like the cavemen, there would be no junk food. We couldn't possibly even know what it was. But we're civilized. We have the biggest companies in the country are manufacturing stuff, working to make it as addictive as possible. And it's everywhere, all the time, in our face, 24/7, 365 days a year. And just like a mouse will actually choose sugar over opium, we humans, because of our addictions and the satisfaction and the neurotransmitter rush we get from eating sugar, vast amounts of sugar and starch, and the promotion of all this stuff, we are sunk. It's temptation. We can't resist. So, of course, unless a dog sits around watching Twinkie commercials all day, the dog's not going to know there's such a thing as a Twinkie until their owner gives it to them. But all animals have, well, maybe not all, but most mammals do have something that is emergency food or survival food. And if that was present all the time, they would be gorging on it for the same reason that humans do. Hope that answered that question. Tristan, 471, good morning, Mitch. It brought a smile to my face to see you go to the barbecue restaurant with your son. Again, you seemed happy. I was. That was for me, it just was a great day, very happy day. I really enjoyed myself. Really enjoyed myself. Aaron, I don't think the reason I feel tired or wear out or the energy goes away has much to do with the oxalate dumping at this point. I think I'm pretty well through most of that. I think I just need to get real. Attribute it to the normal recovery from a stroke and being 78 years old, and do the best I can with it. And it will come back to whatever level, every level it comes back. As I get more control of the muscles on the right side of my body, I will be able to add some workout routines, whole body workout routines, I guess a day when I can do a pull-up or two, I guess I know I got there, but that's kind of out of the question right now. But I'm really beginning to think getting rid of the caffeine has helped some. It may just be. Yes, that's why it's so hard to put your finger on what it was that fixed something you thought you had wrong with you. It's so hard to nail down the exact cause. It takes experimenting. I'll give you an example. Maybe most of you have seen Ken Berry interview his friend who runs 4 or 5 smaller nursing homes. I think it's in California. Forgot his name. And has done these experiments with the people in his nursing home, feeding them carnivore lifestyle and noticing the tremendous improvements in their cognition, in many cases, dementia, Alzheimer's. They've got their lucidity back. A couple of them even went home. Didn't need to be in a nursing home anymore. They got their brain back because they started eating enough fat, stopped taking the statins, stopped taking all the medication that was poisoning them, stopped eating the crap food that most of these nursing homes serve, like hospitals, 90% sugar. And what they did was they did an experiment with a group of people who were on statins. And they took them off the statins for 30 days. You know, you're 75, 80 years old, you got Alzheimer's, you're drooling all day in a nursing home. How big a risk is it to stop taking the statins? I mean, most smart people would say, if you made it to 80 years old without statins, don't take them. They don't recommend statins for most people, and I think over 65 years old. That doesn't stop them. It didn't stop them from prescribing them for me. I could be 110, and some doctor would look at me and say, "Oh, you need to be on a statin immediately. You don't know how dangerous, perilous your life is because your cholesterol is so high." And I'd say, I'm 110 years old, doc. My cholesterol's been high since I've been 20. You think it's going to start killing me now? And then, of course, if I died shortly after that at 110, they would all blame my high cholesterol, as if I was going to live to be 150. That's the mindset. So when you try to find out if something is really was the cause that you were trying to isolate, this nursing home experiment was a good example. They took these people off their statins for 30 days. Many of them got their brain back. They became lucid again. Well, one would think, okay, took away the statins, the Alzheimer's got better, and leave it at that. But it could have been something else unknown. Maybe some other subtle change happened. So to be sure, after 30 days, they put them back on the statin, and they all lost their minds again. Now, to me, that is an experiment, the results of which make sense. Okay, we took them off the statins, they got better. We put them on the statins, they got worse. What else could it have been? Well, nothing. Okay, therefore, statins were causing their dementia. How they were causing the dementia, who knows? But that's how a test had to be. So, in order for me to know if caffeine was indeed the thing, and the reason caffeine could have been affecting me is this: caffeine replaces its action, stimulative action, replaces that of one or more neurotransmitters in your brain. You drink caffeine a long time, your body says, well, we got this other stuff in there. We don't need to make as much of the other things, and it slows down the production of them. But you're getting your energy from the caffeine instead. Well, the caffeine only comes when you drink an energy drink, a cup of coffee, a regular Coke. There's a lot of sources of caffeine, and the average person never stops drinking caffeine because it usually comes along with their sugar. They're eating and drinking this crap all day long: energy drinks, sodas, drinking coffee, tea, foo-foo drinks, lattes, espressos. Yeah, I mean, it's trendy. It's where we are. So they got a caffeine fix every hour, so their body, they never feel tired because the body is always being stimulated. Well, for me and us carnivores, we don't do any of the other stuff, but we drink coffee. But we don't drink coffee later in the day. I would never drink a cup of caffeinated coffee after maybe 2 or 3 o'clock at the latest. And I would run out of energy. So it's logical to think that the caffeine was an important part of the fact that I had energy. Okay, how do you prove that? Well, it's almost impossible for an average person out there eating the crap to give up caffeine, but it's very easy for me. Oh, I got even if I still want to drink the coffee, which tells me it's not something in the coffee itself. It's I can isolate it down to the caffeine. That is doing it. I cut it out for 4 or 5 days. I noticed the difference, and some people get terrible headaches. Caffeine withdrawal. The fact that you have caffeine withdrawal is pretty strong evidence that you indeed were running on caffeine, and that would explain the fact why, when the effects of the last dose of caffeine that you had in the afternoon wore off, your energy would just go, and you'd feel like you feel during withdrawal, and that happened to me. Now, the second part of this is to wait and see, okay, now I'm not giving myself caffeine as a stimulant. Is my body indeed ramping up with the production of those neurotransmitters that caffeine had replaced? And will my energy come back and not fade off as dramatically in the afternoon? This is what I've been looking for. And the answer is, so far, after more than a week, it seems so. It seems so, as evidenced by the fact that I went through all that physical activity, going to lunch the other day, and still, after I got home, I had energy, more energy than I've had later in the day. So, and yesterday was about the same as the day before. And since most people watching that video I made didn't see the behind the stuff activity, how much energy I expended just so I could film it, going through all the move the camera here, get in the car, get out of the car, get in the car, get out of the car, take the camera, all that stuff. I spent as much energy as I did actually going to lunch in making the video itself, because that's what I love. I've always loved cinematography and filmmaking. It's always been a hobby of mine, and it's something I like to bring to YouTube, and other people do too, because it's just being a talking head in a video can be boring. Being a talking head on a live stream can be boring too, but at least interacting with your audience makes it interesting. So let me interact some more, but that makes me believe that I'm on the right track, that maybe the caffeine was the biggest offender of my getting tired late in the day, because initially it made the most sense to me. And that's how you have to analyze things. You can't just start throwing stuff at the problem. I couldn't just say, well, maybe it's the coffee, maybe I need more sugar, so I'll start eating a chocolate bar, and maybe I need to take this additional supplement, creatine, because everybody recommends creatine. Maybe I ought to do this and that, and went ahead and got all that stuff and started doing it all at one time. And then after 4 or 5 days, I felt better. I say, wow, I wonder what it was. Was it the coffee? Was it the creatine? What was it that I did that made me feel better? And then you got to do the same experiment all over again, one at a time. So it's easier. Do it one at a time. To start with, make your best guess at what makes most sense. And be prepared for it to take a long time, because studies do. Because you can't really go on to the next possible suspect until you've completely come to terms with the fact, for example, that cutting caffeine in the long run made no difference. Anyway, That's what goes on in my crazy head. Greta Brunswick, good morning from California. Good morning, Greta. How you doing? Good to see you. Wow, it's 9:30 already. Holy cow. Holy cow, where I'm in the chat. Oh, God, I'm 45 minutes behind. All right, I'm going to go over here to the chat that's rolling on the right and start reading some of the current things that you're saying. In fact, let me go back in that chat a little way and start commenting on some more recent stuff. If you asked, I'm going to, no, I'm not going to do that right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fly through this chat that I have here and try to see if I can just see the QQQs come out without reading and worried about what everybody's talking about, because you're a chatty bunch of mitzvahs. I see Jackie W. Realtors here. Hello, all. Buying a new home. Good for you. Good for you. I don't really want to take the time to read these. I want to make sure I don't miss any question. And maybe it's something very good and very important. Maybe in the highlight of the morning. Smoothie says, rumor has it that you are going to be a guest on KMT. When would that be? I am going to be the first Monday in September. I think it's September 5th. I am going to be the featured big shot. So, depending where you stand, you might want to avoid that or not forget it. But yes, it's true. It is more than a rumor. And what I thought was funny was here I am trying drastically to get people to come on with me on Sundays, and Alia sent me an invitation, and it was prompted by you guys. Probably Peter or somebody else. I don't remember who it was. Told Alia, you need to get Mitch on here. And Kelsey loved the idea, so she sent me a list of available days. And the first available day she had was 3 months away in September. So I took it. So I'll be there September 5th. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, as they say. Lot Slate, how you doing, Lot? Good to see you. Dealing with Porter talkies. I said I was going to not read a whole chat. I saw Jerry. Was that Jerry Voita shit I saw? I thought it was, but it went by so fast. Questions, looking for the questions. Here you go. Joanne T., what's your thoughts on priming, and have you done it? Joanne, my whole methodology is based on an offshoot of priming for the first 30 days. All my advice, and that's why I'm really want to remake that video where I said what to do for the first 30 days, because my advice for the first 30 days basically is eat. That's it. It's your job. You eat. You have one job. Eat. Eat until you can't eat anymore. Eat enough so you're never hungry. You're never thinking about food. The thought of eating another bite is repulsive. And if you start to get a little hungry again, even if it's 10 minutes later, eat some more. Eat 10,000 calories a day if you have to. Don't worry about gaining weight. Throw the scale away. That's what I tell people. But eat meat and fat. And always have some with you. Pre-cooked bacon, hamburger patties. I almost thought it would be a good idea to invent a meat holster that you could wear around your waist. And you could be quick on the draw with a hamburger patty or some cooked bacon, even if it was cold. In case any hint of a craving or hunger hit you, you could immediately reach in, draw out some meat, eat it right away, and keep eating until the urge to stop eating. People don't think that's crazy. That's what priming really means. It means don't allow for the opportunity to eat any of the crap that you're addicted to and have been eating because you're too busy stuffing your face with meat and fat that releases satiety hormones to make you not want to eat. while your body transforms from metabolizing primarily sugar to primarily fat. After 30 days, we start the diet. Get the scale out of the closet if you must. You might gain a little weight during the first 30 days, but I doubt it. Chances are you'll lose weight. But if you weigh yourself every day, you will get disgusted after 3 days and give it up. And the goal is not to lose weight. So yes, I talked about that. I'm going to re-release that video. It's a great explanation, I think. I still stand by every single point. And there's a lot of them and hint and tip that I gave, and how I finally managed to do it myself, following these rules. And these are the rules that work. And since then, so many of you have had a success with these things. So it's a great question. I'm glad I found it. Great question. I know so many people, most people, my own children, for example, cannot sustain this diet, no matter what they do. Something gets them, usually within 3 days. My son comes as close as possible, but he's still not serious enough. Now he'll be 55 years old in November. It's not too late. He knows what he has to do. But the addictions and cravings and alcohol still control him. And probably will continue to be hard as long as he's got his kids around, and they shouldn't be around now. They're grown up. But with all their snacks and everything and all the wine, because he used to be an onophile, if you know what that is, it's a wine connoisseur, was a very important part of their life. All these wines is poison. Tough to get out of those habits when the people around you cannot quit them. So you can't sit across from your wife who's drinking a bottle of wine or two every night and try to and be addicted to that shit and try to give it up. And what is wine but alcohol and sugar? The double whammy. Double whammy. Worst thing, I think. The worst thing that you can drink, should be drinking, if anything, just whiskey. No mixers. If you got to drink. But I can't tell people not to drink. Greg Smith brought me a coffee. Hi, Greg. How you doing, my friend? How are you? Thank you so much. El Rey del Mundo. Good to see you're doing so well, he says. Thank you. And Jane brought me 3 coffees. Thank you, Jane. What a sweetheart. Not that you're not a sweetheart, Greg, but Jane said, loved your Father's Day lunch with your son. Great job on that video. Thank you so much, Jane. Really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to have a sip of my electrolytes. And it's only got, believe it or not, it's almost hard to tell, but a little slight hint of salt to it. But it's diluted so much that it serves 2 purposes. It meters out the electrolytes through the course of a day and make sure I stay hydrated, which is very important because I tend to not drink enough water if left to my own devices. So this is a great thing for me, and I've recommended it to a lot of people. All right, scrolling down here, looking for anything that resembles a capital Q. I am up to 931. Hey, I'm catching up. Well, it hasn't been, attendance was nowhere near what yesterday was. We were running 140, 45 people this time yesterday, but that's okay. It is Wednesday. People have things to do. You all watched Kilts this morning, probably had enough. Gary says, I started drinking coffee when I was 27. It started with Dunkin' Donuts iced culottes, unflavored, then on bottled Starbucks. Yeah. Yeah, they got you. They got you. They're always coming out with new and enticing ways to cram sugar. How many flavors of Cheerios are there right now, as a matter of fact? Or all the sugary, colorful breakfast cereals. Yeah. And then there's a Starbucks. Yeah, there's a Starbucks everywhere. I was in New York City, and you could stand at one place where I was, you could stand on the sidewalk, and you could look up and down the street and see three, not one or two, but three Starbucks within about a block of each other. I guess that's, downtown Manhattan. There's so many people, they got to have three Starbucks to serve them all. Otherwise, the line would never get there. DS111's here. How you doing? See, now we got a big Starbucks discussion going on. Okay, 9:38. Yes, I'm almost there. Terry Sue is not a fan of espresso. If you really want to max out the caffeine, man, nobody does it like the Cubans. Nobody does it like the Cubans. You, if you've never had Cuban coffee, you don't know, but they cram more caffeine into a thimbleful of coffee than you could ever imagine. Yes, on 11 question, are you able to accumulate tallow? I don't eat enough beef to bacon fat, no problem. I'm exactly the same. Exactly the same for me. I don't really use tallow for much. But bacon fat, about a ton. I suppose if I needed tallow, you have to buy it. I'd have to buy it, grass-fed tallow, but I don't. I get maybe not enough of my fat from beef fat. I'm probably guilty of that, but I get plenty of fat, so I seem to be doing okay. The problem after the stroke, I had to cut back on eating the beef, except for ground beef. It was too hard to eat. I couldn't. The knife and fork with my bad hand. It was food was flying everywhere. It was very, very, very tough. Now last night I had a ribeye, and it was interesting. I took my air fryer. I got a number of air fryers, and I've got two of the Ninjas. One is the 551, and one is the 651. They're both on my website, on links to stuff I use, OldGuyCarnivore.com. The 551 or the 651 is the 7-in-1, and it's got a grill plate in it, permanent. You can take it out to clean it, but that doesn't have a tray at the bottom. It's got this grill plate. If you put a basket and you put it on top of the grill plate, the grill plate has a heating element in it. You can actually grill on it like a grill with the lid open. But the 551 does not have that grill plate with its own heating element. It's got a very heavy grill plate that you set in to the bottom pan instead of the basket. Well, I took the 551 yesterday while I was sous videing my ribeye. I already had the air fryer out, and it was already dirty because I cooked the frozen hamburger patties earlier in the day for lunch. And I said, well, rather than clean this thing twice, and I basically clean it by fill up the sink with soapy water and put the stuff in there, let it soak, and it just washes off. Very easy to clean. But I had the 551 out, and the 651's in the pantry for right now. So I said, well, I'm going to have this ribeye tonight. Let me leave the 551 out. It's already dirty. And I'll use it to sear. to sear the ribeye. It's a great idea. I sous vide this ribeye at 128 degrees, perfect, medium rare. I preheated, and that's the key, preheated this 551 with the grill plate that doesn't have its own heating element. You can't use that thing to cook on. The only way the plate gets hot is from the heat from the heating element in the lid. I preheated it to grill. There's a grill button on high. Took probably 4 minutes to get hot enough. I took my steak that had come out of the sous vide and salted it. When preheat was done, I lifted the lid. I put that steak on that griddle, and of course, that sizzled like crazy. Put grill marks in it. I closed the lid. Now, I could have cooked a steak from frozen in about 10, 15 minutes, tops. But this is already cooked. All I wanted to do was sear it. I let it stay on that side for 1 minute. Opened the lid, flipped it over, closed the lid, 1 more minute. It was perfect. Perfect. The only difference that I enjoy in a carbon steel pan is searing it in butter and pouring all that butter on top. And I didn't add fat to it. There was a good deal of fat on this ribeye, which was fine. I could have put a pat of butter on top of it. It would have melted. If I wanted to add fat, I could have. But it was good. It was good. And what was even better was last night, I'm trying to find a way to get my arm. I had to use my right arm to hold the steak knife and my left arm to hold the food. And I actually have improved enough right now where I can do that. It's tiring. It's tiring for your hand and everything. But I can work a steak knife now with my right hand and start eating more steaks, less hamburger again. So that's kind of a little milestone anyway. You have so much taken away from you in an instant when you have a stroke. You don't realize until you claw and have to get it back little by little. You don't realize how many things you lost. Mark C., Mitch, haven't heard you talk about your Cuisinart smoker lately. How about a smoker video? Make burger. I'll tell you what, since the stroke and the fact that I have to go outside, up and down the steps and all that, carrying food and all that other stuff, the smoker has been out of consideration for a long time. As soon as I can do it, I will. It's not the fact that sticking stuff in the smoker has to be constant. I got to monitor it. I've got to take the food outside, bring the food inside, and carry stuff up and down the steps. You don't realize how much physical activity is involved in barbecuing outside on a grill or something like that. So, yeah, I miss it. It's sitting out there in my carport. Got a cover on it. Going to be a little while longer before I'm ready to resume my smoker stuff. I have to cook now in ways that require the least amount of physical effort. Cleaning. It's just the way it is. Good question, though. Oh, it's 10 minutes to 10. I'm almost to the end of the chat, but you guys keep filling it up. You're not disappointing me. Attendance is picking up now at the end. Wow, never fails. I don't see any more questions. I have gotten to the bottom of the chat right now. Currently is Rick, who is number 3 on the hit parade there in the Crown Department. Instead of buying propane, I can make gas from wood. Rick, you would have made a hell of a early settler. You're a very ingenious guy. So let's see what's going on here. Instead of buying propane, Jackie W. Okay, got to go. I don't blame you. You go and you're talking about bacon, baby. Don't slow with fasting and cutting back significantly on coffee and cream. Okay, you need to make a video. Yes, you guys are talking to each other about all kinds of things. Aunt P is here. How you doing, Aunt P? Good to see you. Didn't say hi to you yet today. And if I missed any of you today, hi. I think I managed to get it all in. Well, that's great. And of course, we're at our highest attendance of the day right now at the very end. So, a song and dance, maybe. I'll stay here for a few more minutes and participate in the chat. Peter just finished his 5-mile walk, getting ready to head into work soon. Ricky Lee is here. Good morning. How you doing, Ricky Lee? How are you? Beatitudes. Didn't see you yet. How you doing? Good to see you. Hi, back, Mitch. Good to see you. And that is the bottom of the chat. Except for this. Burn, baby, burn. Says Aaron. They're talking about making fires. Jackie W. says, have a meaty day. Okay, my friends. All right. Play a little happy music while we all say goodbye to each other. I won't be here tomorrow morning. I will be here tomorrow evening for the private community on Thursday. Be back Friday morning for Morning Coffee with Mitch. Does Mitch still have some coffee? Yes, I do. I'm adding Monday. I've decided I'm going to bring back Monday. It'll be a 5-day-a-week thing now. I'm certainly up to it. This is not very taxing. It's so much fun for me to do this, to be with you all. I love it. As long as you keep watching, I'll keep doing it. So now, Morning Coffee with Mitch every day, except Thursday, and then in difference to my friend Rick, I take Saturday morning off too, because it's pretty much the same crowd, and maybe someday I'll add Thursday back in, but right now I'm taking Thursday morning and Saturday morning off. The other days I will be here unless something comes up individually, but I love these morning meetings. I think Kilt's doing a great job. I want to follow up after him. So we've all got some place to be in the morning if we want to. It's a great way to start the day for a lot of us. Reminds us that we are part of a community. It is important that we continue to do this. And it's still fun. It's still fun. So I hope you enjoyed it today, my friends. And all that being said, I will see you tomorrow night in the private community and then back here Friday morning. But until then, feel free to take the rest of the day off and eat meat.